a social studies last block Friday. Things were going really well. I attribute that to the activity the kids were doing from the Teach with Magic website. But this one student would, they want attention, and I'm not using any pronouns, not because it's like political, just because I don't want, you don't need to know if it's a boy or a girl, but this one student was sitting in the recycling bin, not like the tall ones, but like the short ones they have in classrooms, and they were sitting in that recycling bin during the lesson, and the ed tech or para came up to me and they said, hey, this student is sitting in the recycling bin. And I, in my snap decision making, thought, everybody else is doing what they're supposed to. And this one student wants all the attention. They want to have to get me to disrupt what's going on positively in the classroom, to take that attention away from what's happening and what students are learning to them. So I decided to let it go. And when I let it go, it went okay for the most part until this one student apparently took the recycling bin while they were in it and scooted their way out of the classroom, and in the process destroyed the rubber stopper that goes from the tile to the carpet of the classroom. Yeah. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking how did just kind of going over it with the recycling bin rip it all up. That to me is a little bit suspect. Now, definitively, I can't say that they just, took their fingers and ripped up that rubber thing that goes to, like, in the school, like, destruction of school property. I can't say that that's what happened because I didn't see it. But all I know is that the end result was that destruction of school property happened. So, what I decided to do was, in the moment, after all this happened, the student was in the hallway, not doing anything in the hallway, just sitting in the recycling bin. But in the hallway now, I told the student to come back into class. Obviously, get out of the recycling bin. You're now in the hallway. It's too far, right? I can't ignore it anymore. And come back into class. Well, they came back into class, and they instead wanted to get more attention on themselves, right? Because myself didn't flip out about it. I didn't cause a big scene about it. I was like, okay, come back into class. Everybody else is doing what they're supposed to. I don't want to have to cause a big scene and distract what everybody else is doing, distract from what everybody else is doing. So they came back to class. Well, the student was starting now to play sounds off their laptop. So like bell sounds. Hey, can you please not play the sounds off your laptop? I had to count down for the first time on to cause a little bit of pressure. And then they turned it off, and then a minute or two later it was happening again, right? So the next step would have to be to take the laptop, which I would have done, but for me, luckily, the class was pretty much over at that point, so everybody get back up, we're done. But during lunch, I went into the lunchroom. I took the student out of the lunchroom, and they had to spend it in like the detention center, what we call IHI, where students go when they get kicked out of class. So this one student had to spend that lunch, that social time, in you're supposed to be doing to the negative that's going on in the classroom. We all know this student likes negative attention. They want all the attention, so just don't give it to them, right? But this student has also apparently skipped class that day, and the ELA teacher went to the vice principal, and he found that that was destroyed. Now he didn't get the full story. He was like, who did this? And I was like, well, this dude did this. And he kind of took that, and I think the way he explained it to the vice principal, because I tried to talk to the vice principal after school, but he was in a meeting, so I wasn't able to give him the full story. But I think he explained it that the student ripped out the, really just purposely destroyed property. I honestly don't know how on purpose or not on purpose it was. But the student has been out of school suspended for Monday for this, and I guess for skipping class. So I feel a little bad if this is why the student is suspended, because I don't know if it was the skipping for the most part, or was it the destruction of school property. This is not the first time that this student has destroyed school property. So the principal probably has, a pretty strong hand on it now. So any sort of inkling about having destroyed property is going to cause a major consequence, like an out of school suspension. So on Monday, I am going to go tell the story to the vice principal and see what he thinks. Now, my feeling is he's gonna say, well, what she did was destroy school property. Doesn't if it was an accident or not an accident. She knows she's not supposed to be in the recycling bin. She knows she's not supposed to leave class without asking. So I have a feeling he's gonna just be like, well, I already out of school suspended her. There's really nothing else we can do. Which is the truth, right? So that was my Friday. Other than that, perfect, great Friday. I'm loving this Teach with Magic website. It really is making classroom management so much easier. If there's any teachers out there who are struggling with classroom management, my suggestion is to find or create engaging lessons that students love. This lesson is a road trip lesson where students are basically going on a road trip in groups, but they're learning about economics. I know that sounds crazy, but anybody who knows about economics knows it involves everything. So I'll just give an example of one of the activities in this activity. They have images of all these things they can bring on this road trip: surfboards, laptops, toilet paper, snacks, drinks, and they have a grid that they put these images, these computer images in, and it's like a game of Tetris. They have to fit as much as they can, or as much as they want, into this grid, which is acting as their car trunk. So the idea is that they have to, at the end of it, with the discussion questions, understand what is the cost of adding something into the trunk. Well, it's not money, it is space. So the idea of economics involving everything, right? But it's great because they are acting like they're really going on this road trip. So they're really thinking about, well, do I want to bring a surfboard? Are we going surfing, or do I want to bring a tent and a fishing pole? So some of the boys are bringing more outdoor stuff. I'm bringing a tent, I'm bringing a fishing pole. Some of the girls are bringing snacks, other things that might not involve going fishing, right? So I think it's a great lesson because they are actively making choices, and it is something they can personalize, which I think is what kids want. They want something they can make choices on. So I really loved this lesson, and it makes classroom management so much easier. I was sitting suggestion to any teachers who struggle with classroom management is to try to find something that is really engaging for the kids. And you won't be able to do it every day, but if you have those days and those activities that really are engaging, oh my god, it makes the day go by so much easier. It's so much easier. But yeah, other than that, you need to have something that you can fall back on. So my thing is a warning system. I give them 3 warnings. If not, then I have to email them, and then it's a progressive step. So like the next part, if it happens again, they get written up. The next part would be like an inside lunch detention, and if I have to do that a couple times, I will. But then the next part would be like an after school detention. I haven't gotten to that yet, but that's my plan. Just kind of, it's like a step, a consequence step. But next week is a full week, so it's the first full week I'm gonna have in 3 weeks. I was sick 3 weeks ago for Friday. We had Martin Luther King Day, and then we had a snow day. So the first full weeks I'm gonna have in 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy. But today is WWE Royal Rumble. I just finished Friday Night SmackDown. I tried my best to stay up, but I was tired, so I fell asleep before the final match between forgetting their team name, the Vision, led by Paul Heyman versus Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. It was a good match. I enjoyed it. The excitement was up there, so they are getting me in the mood for the Royal Rumble. It's gonna be a long Royal Rumble though. It starts at 2, and I think it's like 4 hours. So I'm gonna get some like chicken nuggets and like some I'm thinking I'm gonna get some beer or whatever, just cold, especially up in the north. It's just cold and dark, and it's kind of that long period of just kind of slugging through it till it gets to March. So I hope you all have a good, blessed day out there, and you stay